I've been living in Japan for a while now, so I made a list of 10 things that I wish I knew before I came to Japan. Some of these are kind of stupid, some of these I think are maybe a bit of a more serious topic, but let's see. A little bit about me. I came to Japan in 2018 as a student at a university, and I graduated from that university in, I think it was like 2021, and I've been here ever since. I first lived in Tokyo for like 4 years, and now I live in the countryside. The first thing on my list is if you find a food that you really like, buy a lot of it at that time because there's a chance that it's seasonal, and when the season changes, you won't be able to get that food at all. I had like a favorite chocolate mint ice cream, mint chocolate ice cream, chocolate mint ice cream, I don't know, whatever it is. And I loved it so much, and then they stopped selling it. And this has happened to like multiple different foods. Now there are like other chocolate mint ice creams that I can get, but my favorite one is not sold anymore. The next thing on my list is if you have to get lunch and your options are the convenience or the drugstore, 100% go to the drugstore. The drugstore is so much cheaper than convenience, and I would have saved so much money if I had just known to go to the drugstore instead of going to the convenience. So please save money and go to the drugstore. And this kind of helps with my next one, which is save as much money as you can, because sometimes the renting situation, living in an apartment, if somebody really toxic or just doesn't like foreigners or is just an angry person moves in and you need to move out of that apartment because the landlord is not doing anything, or even calling the police is not helping, and it's affecting your mental health or whatever, or you're scared, because let's be honest, sometimes it's scary. Have money saved up so that you can move to a different apartment, because fuck that, it's expensive. You've probably heard about it in Japan. There's the key money deposit. Some of that stuff you can negotiate down a little bit, but a lot of it is still just going to be really fucking expensive. So absolutely save money up on the side, have it for a move. Just put that to the side. The next thing on my list, always try to be within walking distance for like 2 train stations for 2 different lines. Okay. It's happened to me before where I lived somewhere and there was only 1 station, 1 train line that serviced it, and if that train is down, you're stranded. Like, you can't get anywhere else. There's buses, but the buses I don't think are as reliable as people make it out to be. I've been waiting at a bus stop for 40 minutes and a bus has never come before. It's, it is what it is. But try, if you're gonna move to like Tokyo or something, try to live within walking distance for 2 different train lines. That, and talking about trains, I've seen some people talk about this online, and I think it's true. Sometimes you're on the train and something about being like having to stand in that tight space, it can like trigger a panic attack. Like, this has happened to me too before, where I was on the train and then it's not that I started panicking, it's just that it got really difficult to breathe. And so I had to kind of like crouch down. But I've heard this happen to other people too, so if it happens to you, I just want to say you're not alone. I mean, nothing you can really do with that. At that time, I was like on my way to work, so like I can't. We live in a capitalist hellscape, so I can't just get off, the train. So yeah. The next one that I have on my list is if someone starts talking to you and you're at the train station, 9 times out of 10, it's a cult. Okay? And if it's not a cult, it may just be like a weird person. So who randomly talks to people at the train station? Nobody does. So be wary of that, because there are like a few cults that are kind of active in Japan. They seem like really nice people, and it's nice. Oh, somebody's interested. Somebody wants to talk to me, whatever. But the reality is, like, don't go with them. don't give them your line. I know that some people from cults used to come to like the university campus as well, and like I've had people, cult members, talk to me on campus before, and yeah, so be careful of that. The next one that I have on my list is, Tokyo has a nice nightlife. You go out and party. That's good. Okay. Something you should know though, Plan B is by appointment only. So if you want to take Plan B, you have to like go see a doctor in person to get that. And so just be careful with that. Same thing goes with birth control. It can be like there's additional barriers to access this. Well, I know in my hometown, you can go just to like the Walgreens or CVS or whatever and just buy it, In Japan, there's like, it has to be from a doctor, like a gynecologist. So be careful with that. Next one on my list, I have, while I don't think Japan is pet friendly, in my experience, vet care is significantly more affordable here than it is in America. In America, I would go to the vet and there'd be like a $75 visitation fee. And then that doesn't cover any of the medical stuff, like if your pet needs medicine or if your pet needs like something done to them. It's only $75 just to have them looked at by the vet. In Japan, our dog broke his leg and we paid $200 for the cast, for the x-rays. That would have been like several $1,000s in the US to get the x-rays, to get the care, to get, as an emergency, obviously, emergency vet visit. I don't think Japan is pet friendly, but I do think it's more affordable in that way. Next thing I have on my list, don't bring stuff unless it's like really sentimental for you. Apartments and houses here are just much smaller, and you're gonna want to change out all your clothes anyways. American style, Japanese style, totally different. And even if you want to incorporate some of your like clothes that you had from before, it's also like getting clothes that fit in this temperature for this weather, dressing like that. I think you're better off using your suitcase space for something else, basically. Okay. Next one I have on my list. This is something that I really kind of struggled with like when I first came, and that's to not obsess too much over customs and like breaking rules. You get some slack because you are not native here, and so you get some passes on things, but I was so worried about doing the wrong thing, saying the wrong thing, and upsetting people just because I didn't know what the right thing to do was, when that's really held me back from, meeting people or trying and doing something new, getting new experiences. There's so many videos online of what not to do in Japan. I think those are good, but it kind of sets you up to have like a lot of anxiety for interacting with people and fear about saying or doing the wrong thing. And I think if I had not obsessed so much over that, my Japanese would be a lot better, because I was so shy about speaking to people. It's a language that you do have to be aware of what words you use with what people, and don't let it get to you. Like, don't let it get into your head as much as it got into my head, because really it just ended up holding me back for a lot of things. Okay. And the next thing that I have is a kind of a recommendation of what I think you should do, especially if you move to Tokyo. For sure, try walking over to the next station or next area and just kind of walk around as much as you can and take in all the little cafes and stuff that you see. I got so much, sometimes I was really poor, didn't have enough money, but I would walk from one station to Shinjuku station, and walking that way I saw a whole bunch of interesting stuff, interesting buildings that I don't think I would have seen had I just been riding the train. Now, don't be this poor like me where you can't even afford the train ticket, but it was very cool to get to walk and like see all this stuff. The last one I have here is kind of a bonus one, and that's just don't make the sound. You know, that sound. It comes off in a very strong way here. When, you know, in America you make that sound all the time. You're like, oh, I don't want to do that. Or, oh, you know. Don't worry too much about customs, but also don't make that sound. Sorry. So, I didn't know that. I didn't know that was like a no-go sound to make here. So don't be like me, don't make that sound. My friends here told me, oh, don't do that. Those are kind of, I think that's actually like a list of 12 things I wish I'd known before I came to Japan. And let me know if you have any questions or what your experience has been. Have you ever had a panic attack on the train? I know I'm not the only person, but let me know. Yeah, and tell me what your favorite seasonal food is, what's going on right now, what's the best sweet, and yeah. I'm hoping to get back to posting on this channel, and please subscribe. I promise I'm not going to take so long to post new videos. I'm going to go and I'm going to edit and upload this video right now, so please. Okay, and please like. Okay, bye.